Salutations, my name is Summer and this is Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. Okay, a few things I want to say is that I am brand new to BookTube, so I think I've created an original tag, but honestly I don't know. So if this tag is out there where someone else has created it, please let me know because my intentions were not to, steal any ideas from anybody. I think this is an original tag. So, I got this idea off of Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. I watched a video this morning. I think he just uploaded it, and it was called "Can We Trust Booktubers' Recommendations? Scott reads your favorite books." And he and went to I think 10 booktubers, and I think it only worked out that he got 9 of them, and then his wife now they have the channel together, and he used one of her recommendations. But he went to their mid-year freakout book tags or mid-year book freakout tags, however you want to say it, and he looked up what was the best book they read this year so far, and he read them. And did he like them? Did he not like them? It's a great video. I'll put it in the description below since I don't know how to link yet. And that's another thing I want to say is that I don't have a smartphone. I just use my laptop. So that's another thing why I don't join in and I don't have Instagram. It's not that I'm not loving you guys' videos and your buddy reads and all those Zoom chats, all those things that you do. I really enjoy watching them, but I am not, capable of doing those things because I really don't want to buy a smartphone. I don't know what it is about it. I love my little flip shut, pay as you go phone. So I just wanted to let you guys know those kind of things. Now let's get to the tag. It's called "Who Do You Love?" book tag. And like I said, I think this is an original, but let me know if it's not. And Sylvie's down here hanging out, and she's being a good girl today. Her wildness, which is what I love about her, her wildness may come out. Mayfair's over here. Randall was over here. He usually hangs out, and Finn Church is usually, he's not up there. He's usually up top. Okay, back to the tag. Number 1. What book did everyone love but you only liked? That is The Way of the Kings. This is the UK edition. They split it up into 2. But The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I hate to say it, guys, but I really enjoyed this. And I want to read it again before I read the second one because I do plan to read the second one. And aren't these gorgeous? I love that they split it in 2 because the first edition I had was I had got it at a library book sale, and it was that huge chunker hardback book. And this, number 1, they're beautiful and they're easier, more accessible, easier to read for me. But yeah, I did not love this. I really liked it, but I didn't love it. Same with Mistborn. I really liked it, but I didn't love it. And I have the trilogy. I just haven't read them yet. Okay, who is your favorite author? I'm going to say Barbara Kingsolver. And the reason why I'm choosing her, and this is Flight Behavior, I read this again this year. The reason why I'm saying her is because I've read all of her books but 2, and I've loved all of them. So even though her books are not like, they would be in my top 10, but it's not, she didn't write my all-time favorite book, but every book of hers that I've read I have loved. So that's why I'm choosing Barbara Kingsolver. What subject do you love to read about? So not very many people know this about me. I don't know why I don't talk about it, but my favorite subject to read about is Henry VIII's wives. I have no idea. And I got this book. I have a ton of Alison Weir and Philippa Gregory, or however you would pronounce her name. I have a ton of those books. I could have showed them all to you, but this is one that I want to read. I'm wanting to get to it. And this book, so this is Anna of Cleve by Alison Ware. And Anna was his fourth wife. So I should have, this is the whole series. I don't think the last book is out yet. So the first book is Catherine of Aragon, and the second book is Anne Boleyn, and the third book is Jane Seymour. And this is the fourth book, Anna of Cleve, and the fifth book will be Catherine Howard, and the sixth and final book, the woman who outlived him, is Catherine Parr. So even though I have not read any in this series, I am cheating and going to book 4, and I hope to read this year. But there's something fascinating about his wives, and I would not want to draw the attention of a king, any king, honestly, but especially not King Henry VIII. Okay. What books are you not sure that you love? So I loved The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. Rothfuss. I absolutely love this book. I'm not sure if I loved The Name of the Wind because he was a kid. Honestly, that's the only reason why I think I'm not sure if I loved it. I mean, I really liked it and it kept my attention the whole way through. But I think the reason why I'm not sure if I loved it is because he was a kid, like talking about when he was a kid most of the book. But this one he's like an adult or in school, college or whatever you want to call it. So I love this one. Okay. What book has your favorite cover? And of course I chose 2. The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating. I don't know if you guys can see this cover. By Elizabeth Tova Bailey. I love snails. There's just something about them that I just love. And then the other book is The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. And that's another purple octopus on there. I guess I love books that are like nature. Because I do love Barbara Kingsolver's book, Flight Behavior with the Butterflies, which the book has a lot to do with the monarch butterfly. Okay. What book stayed with you the longest? And this could be a 2-part. Stayed with you the longest, you could say, physically, I've had this book the longest. I'm not doing that because a lot of my books are now boxed up, and I get rid of a lot of books. There's a ton of books that I've got rid of. So to stay with me the longest, physically, I'm not doing. But mentally, books that stay with me the longest, I have 3. So, the first one is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. I probably mispronounced that. I read this a long time ago. Actually, I didn't even date it. That's a long time ago. I read this for a book club, and it was, oh gosh, it was probably 2000, maybe even 98. I'm not sure. 2000s. I think it's early 2000. This book stayed with me. I mean, it stayed with me. I thought about it and thought about it. I mean, still today, it kind of haunts me. The things that these women went through, their relationship, how it changed. Yeah, it's a haunting book. But I mean, it's a great book. I think everybody should. I absolutely loved it. Inez of Our Soul by Isabel Allende. This is my favorite book by her. And yeah, it still stays with me. A woman going into battle and how passionate she was with the men that she loved, her relationships in here, and it's beautiful. The last book I read, I want to say it was just last year, but my friend Gary from Meeting gave this book to me, and not this copy because he gave it to me, and then I gave it back to him because I wanted him to read it, and then I found this at a library book sale, so it's like I got it back. The 5 Days Left by Julie Lawson Timmer. 5 days left. That's exactly what it's about. You have 5 days left. Oh, it's such an emotional ride. I just loved it. Loved it. The decisions we have to make in life. And anyway, it's a great, great book. Okay. Oh no, I have another one. I'm sorry. I just read this book. This much I know is true by Wally Lamb. This book is going to stay with me for a long time, physically and mentally. Dominic's life, the things that he went through, how his life changed as he aged. It had me thinking about so many different things in my own life that has changed because I'm 41. And so, even though that's still young, it's a lot of years to live through. A lot happens in your life. So, and I look forward to having a lot more things happen in my life. So, anyway, yeah, that book, it's staying with me both ways. Okay. What book do you love that you could recommend to anyone? And I was really thinking about this because there's books that I love. Okay, I just read a book, American Dirt. I just read it. And I feel like when I did my wrap up, whatever, I said I recommend this book to everyone. But I was talking to my mom about it, and I told her, I said, the reason why I didn't bring it over is because she does not want to read anything that has any kind of violence in it. And so I couldn't take it to her and say, oh, you should read this if I knew that she would not want anything with violence. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking about what book would be that I love that I could recommend to anyone. So there's not any oh shoot, there's triggers in this book. Okay, this one, there's no triggers. The second one, there are triggers. I just realized that. Shoot. Okay, so Big Mushy Happy Lump by Sarah Anderson. I can recommend this book to absolutely everyone. She makes me so happy. It's just, she's fantastic. And I have another book of hers. And yeah, I just love her so much. So yes, I can recommend this book to anyone. Children would like it. I mean, they probably wouldn't get everything, but there's nothing there's nothing bad in here. Not bad. There's nothing adult. Yeah, there is. Okay, never mind. Never mind. The other book I was going to recommend, because it's a simple book, it's almost like a comfort read. There are some bad things that happen in it, but it's one of those stories that it's a young girl who comes from pretty much nothing and knowing very little into coming into her own and making decisions that better herself and her life. Where the Heart Is by Billy Letts. I read this a long time ago. I want to reread it. I might have reread it. But yeah, I don't remember, so I need to reread it. Because this book it pulled at the heartstrings. Like I said, it's a simple book, yet, I don't know, I always think of comfort and very loving. Anyway, next. What book lit your fire? Now, this could be a lot of different things. Sometimes when you feel like you think of lit a fire, probably number one, people think about passion. They think about, ooh, what got me worked up in that type of way. But to me, it also means what lit my fire, passion, what got me motivated to change some things or think about things. It got me thinking about things a little differently. So it also could be lit your fire. That could also go to anger, of what book you love that made you angry, I guess. But for me, a romantic type book And it's funny for me to use this book to say lit my fire because it's a slow, sweet type book. So I don't know, but for some reason for me I feel like using it. And that's The Painted Veil by William Somerset Maugham. Loved it. Loved the movie too. And another book, now here's where I'm talking about it lit my fire passionate in a different way, not like a sexual type way, but a different type of passion. And that was Ape House by Sarah Gruen. I get really passionate about animal rights and how we see animals and plants. And if we don't understand them, we put them on a different level, like they don't matter, like they're just objects instead of living beings. And so, yeah, I get really passionate about that kind of stuff. So, Ape House brought it out where I was angry and I cried, and got very passionate about it. Okay. What was your favorite book as a teen? Now, I don't have it in a sense. I'm going to show you a series of books that I loved. But the main books I loved as a teen was V.C. Andrews, and I don't have any of those anymore because I outgrew them. And also John Saul. When I was a teenager, I loved John Saul's books. I remember he had these little tiny books like these, which I'm going to show you The Green Mile by Stephen King. And I read these when I was a teenager. And, I love Stephen King. I think the first book I read of Stephen King, I think I was 14, 15. It was The Dark Half. And so that was my introduction. And I'm not sure if everybody should have that as an introduction, but I loved it. Anyway, The Green Mile. So you have these little tiny editions, and I love them. John Saul had a collection like this too, so I was so excited that they were doing, instead of, for some reason when I was a teenager, it was like reading these little tiny books and the covers. I loved all the covers of them, and yeah. Anyway, this was a book that I loved as a teenager. Since I can't show you the V.C. Andrews or the John Saul. Where am I at? What book gives you the most comfort? I have to find them. Okay, so I have 3, and I know I'm cheating, but you know what? I think this is an original tag, so I'm going to cheat. Frederick Bachman. I always say Bachman. I think that's because Stephen King did Richard Bachman, but I'm pretty sure it's Bachman. But maybe it is Bachman. I've read all of his books. I'm reading his newest one. These books give me comfort. Yes, there are some bad things that happen. There's struggles. There's a lot of heartstrings pulled. He really knows how to get inside of you and make you feel things. So yeah, he's definitely a comfort read for me. The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. This is a comfort read. I read this book over and over and over again. I wish this was a marked up copy. This is a clean copy, and I must have given my marked up copy away, I'm sure. And then I marked up another one and gave it away, and then marked up another one and gave it away. He says there's so many great lines in this book, and I would, go flip through and just read some to you, but this is a clean copy, so I don't have it. But yeah, so many beautiful lines in this book. And then the last one, this is my favorite in the 5-book trilogy, which is just hilarious. So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, Douglas Adams. So if you have read this book, if you own this book, on page 88, 89 to like maybe 93, he tells a story while he's waiting for a train. And I just laugh and laugh. I laughed so hard. And then my mom read it, and she just, that section of where he's waiting for a train. We just laugh so hard about it. So Douglas Adams, he's a comfort read to me because I can just go back and laugh. He lightens my mood of because he's so outlandish. You know, he comes up with some of the craziest things that make you think about things differently and makes you laugh about it. So definitely a comfort. What is your all-time favorite book? The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. He's not my favorite author because East of Eden is all right. The Pearl, nah. Tortilla Flat, no. So I always do this 3 books. I'll give an author 3 tries. But John Steinbeck is one that I'm giving more tries to because he has my all-time favorite book. If you hear something, Randall, there's a box that I have in there, and he's really playing. So if you hear like noise and scratching, it's him in the foyer in a box. Anyway, he gets I'm definitely going to be reading some more of his books just because I love this one so much. And this was the first one I read of his. But yeah, everything else I've read of his has been like, eh. So my favorite book, not my favorite author. What book did you love that someone recommended? Either it was a book club or someone just said, hey, read this book that you loved. Let me get this right. What book did you love that someone recommended, but you wouldn't have tried on your own? And I have 2. Oh, here it is. The first one I'm going to say, my friend Jane mailed not this edition, but a different edition to me, Drawing in the Dust by Zoe Klein. I'm not sure if I ever would have found this book just because I don't know. I don't think I ever would have found it. And it's one of my favorite books. I absolutely love it. Another one I read for book club, Lee Smith, which I've read something else of hers that I think it's called like Saving Grace or something. But I read another book of hers and really liked it. Fair and Tender Ladies by Lee Smith. Yeah. This book surprised me because when it was picked for book club, I was just like, all right, let's see. And I loved it, but I don't think I ever would have picked it up on my own. Let's see. What book did you used to love, but you don't love now? I'm so excited to see other people's videos. Okay, so I read this year. I reread this year, The Mummy by Anne Rice, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. There was a lot of convenient things that happened. So, and I felt that way with The Wolf Gift. I read The Wolf Gift last month, and I kind of was like, oh, well, that's nice and convenient a lot of times. So I like it still. I read it when I was a teen. I like it still, but I don't love it anymore. And the other one, which her writing, okay, so she's a roller coaster. I loved her. And then she started writing that fluffy, getting to where I didn't feel like she was taking any time with the writing. She was just feeling fluff, fluff, explicit sex, fluff, fluff. And I enjoy explicit sex if you give me a lot more with it. So this is Guilty Pleasures by Laurel K. Hamilton. I think this is Anita Blake series. It takes about 5 books for you to get into the sex. And when you get into the sex, it is explicit. But it takes you 5 books to get there. I would say she could easily have 20 books in this series. The last 2 books have been good. I actually have started the last book that she wrote, but I haven't finished it. And it's good. It's almost back to how it was. But she had maybe 7 or 8 books that were like this tiny and were nothing. And I was so upset. And I gave her up for a couple of years because I just thought, I don't want to read this. I'm not interested in just that. Like, you got to give me a story because she's a necromancer. And so much happens. And there's vampires and were leopards, and it's fun. They are so much fun and entertaining and easy read, just, yet they have you thinking about things. So I used to absolutely love her. She was an instant buy, I would pre-order. And now I like her. I still like her books, but I don't love her books anymore. Okay. And this last one, 15. All, oh, no, sorry, 14. I skipped one. Okay, so what do you plan to read soon? Or, well, it doesn't even matter. What do you plan to read that you think you will love? The Burning Chambers by Kate Moss. I have never read a Kate Moss. And I mean, orange is my favorite color. So, I mean, gosh, this is absolutely gorgeous to me. And I'm doing that thing that I do where I've set it. I think I bought it early. I think I did. I bought it last year and I've set it aside. What am I waiting for? Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to love this. I think it's 1562 in France. And so it's historical fiction. Yeah, there's just in reading this little bit, it sounds like there's going to be some intriguing mysteries, and so I've never read her, but I think I'm gonna love it. And if I don't, I'm gonna be just heartbroken. Okay, so now 15, the last question. All the books you love, but unlike me, you didn't want to list more than one book for each question. What are the rest of the books that you love that you'd like to mention, but they didn't quite fit, or you didn't want to put them in so that sometimes I listed 3 books for one question, which, you do whatever you want to do. But I threw in that last question because sometimes I do a tag and then I'm like, but wait a second, what about all these books that I couldn't fit in? So anyway, everyone is tagged. I am new to BookTube. I do not have a smartphone. I do not know how to link yet, and I've never tagged. So maybe I'll try to tag, but I already have to write this big list of questions out. So I'm going to try to tag, but no promises. And you may see your name I don't know, I got this big list. I'll try to tag. If not, I might put your name in the list if I'm tagging you, like down below the questions, and you might see it or you might not see it, whether you watch this video or not. Anyway, thank you to everyone who watched this video. I'm excited. I really hope that you all do this tag so that I can watch and see what books you love, because this will give me recommendations of what books I want to try because you guys love them. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.